Yes, welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I'm Omar Stennett and I'm absolutely delighted that you have joined for another one. Extremely delighted, and I want to say big thank you to all our subscribers. We're finally getting closer and closer to that 500 mark. So please help us to hit that 500 mark. That will be a major milestone for us, and we appreciate you liking, sharing, following us on all our social media platforms. We're on Instagram, we're on Facebook. Listen, and you must also hit the notification bell because we have many live shows that we have coming up and we have done, and you want to know when we're live so you can watch our live shows and ask questions and join our panel. All right, look out for that. We have some very interesting and important guests in the sporting landscape also coming up, and that also, listen, follow us on Ari Times TV. Yeah, we are there, and we're there to stay as they continue to improve on their work and their reach. We continue to partner with them in doing so, because each one help on one hand can't clap. You understand me? Big up all other YouTubers out there doing their work on their platforms. Respect, you know. There's enough space in the marketplace for all of us. Yeah, it's a big enough cake that each man can find his niche and do his work. Yeah, man. Also, a lot of people have been asking, what happened to your hair? What happened to the Ross? Well, it gone, I am sure. You know, yeah, the people are saying that I need to get back to my good old cute self. You understand me? So I went to Pro Star Barber Shop, and the barber them set me up. You see it? Nice. Look at the noise. Clean like a whistle. Yeah, I am sure. So check them out. They're at Simmons Plaza. They're upstairs, right? And they have a Father's Day special, you know. They're giving special discounts. So here's what you can do. Go there and let them know you saw it and I Am Sure Sport, and you get discount on your Father's Day haircut. Yappy. See it? Anyways, we have a lot to get into today. So watch this. Bam. We're going to talk some basketball, some track and field, and some football as usual. So let's start off with the NBA playoffs, all right? I mean, very interesting times in the NBA. We're going to begin in the Eastern Conference. Know that the play-ins are over and the playoffs has started. All right, so let's look at the 1 seed versus the 8th seed. That is the Philadelphia 76ers versus the Washington Wizards. And the Philadelphia 76ers are already up by 1 in that series. They are going to take it, I believe, in 6 games. Well, listen, it should be a sweep, but it won't go past 5 games. I'm expecting a sweep of the Washington Wizards, but it won't go past 5 games. So the most is that Washington may win 1 game and it goes up to 5-4-1, but it's not going beyond 5 games. That's it. And so I'm expecting Philadelphia. They are too dominant on the interior, and Washington is primarily dependent on Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. The Philadelphia have Tobias Harris, they have Ben Simmons, they have Joel Embiid. They have too many pieces over there. Right? Danny Green. They have too many pieces over there. And so I'm expecting them to dominate Washington Wizards easily and move into the second round. All right? The 2-7 matchup is also done. It is the Brooklyn Nets versus the Boston Celtics. And the moment Boston Celtics lost Jaylen Brown, they were out, right? They were completely out because now they were totally reliant on Jason Tatum. And hey, one man can't beat this dominant offense. I will say this, that in my years of watching the NBA, and I started watching from Drexler and the Portland team with Brian Grant and Rasheed Wallace, you know, what the Detroit Ben Wallace teams with Tayshaun Prince and, you know all the Chauncey Billups. I watched some Joe Dumars. I've been around and watched some Magic Johnson Lakers, Michael Jordan, the Patrick Ewing New York Knicks, the Reggie Miller Indiana. I watched those games, Penny. I watched those guys, Alonzo. I watched those guys, and in my years of watching the NBA, I can't say I watched the Oscar Robertson, no, but in my years of watching the NBA, this is the most dominant offensive group of 5 I've ever seen. Right? The closest I've seen to it was the Golden State Warriors team that had KD, Draymond, Clay, and Steph. All right, and that was 4. And Draymond wasn't really a major scorer. He was an integral part, and he was very good defensively. But on this Brooklyn Nets team, listen to this, right? They play Blake Griffin at center, Joe Harris at the 4, KD at the 3, James Harden at the 2, and Kyrie at the 1. Like, I mean, they are loaded. We haven't spoken about their bench, but that 5 is so loaded that though I want the Brooklyn Nets to be knocked out and not win the NBA title just because I'm a New York Knicks fan and I don't want my rivals to win. I don't see a team in the East that can stop them. And what I've seen of the West, the team that would probably pose the greatest challenge at this time is the Lakers, and they don't look good. So this Brooklyn team to me seems like an unstoppable force this season. These guys have just played 10 games together. That's Kyrie, KD, and James Harden. And they look like they're unbeatable. Imagine when they play more games and they have gelled. It's going to be over. So, Boston are going to be swept. Thank you for joining the playoff. Goodbye. See you next season. Ta-da! Go back to the Garden. Not Madison Square Garden. The Ruth Garden in Boston. All right. Now the 3-6 is, I think, the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a 3-6 matchup, Milwaukee Bucks versus the Miami Heat. Last year, if you remember, surprisingly, the Miami Heat were the number 8 seed and they defeated the Milwaukee Bucks. And I think the Milwaukee Bucks want to make a statement and they are going to sweep the Heat. The Heat are no matchup for them. Listen, Drew Holiday, that addition of Drew Holiday has made, has made the whole play look different. And they got this youngster from out of San Antonio called Brooks. The man is a beast shooting from 3. There we go. Giannis, Middleton, Lopez, these guys are through to the second round. And Miami Heat are going to be swept. I think the closest of all the series in the East will be the Atlanta Hawks versus my New York Knicks. And what a game it was. The Madison Square Garden was up and pumping. And I think that is the problem. I think spectators at Madison Square Garden will affect some of these guys. The spotlight, the pressure, the noise, all of that, I think impacted like Julius Randle, who has been voted the most improved player in the NBA. So we have to give him big props. Big up Julius Randle, most improved from the New York Knicks. But he had a poor showing on game 1. And Trae Young did his thing and Atlanta won. But this series is going to 7. Game 7 at Madison Square Garden. And I think the New York Knicks will clinch that series. So at the end of the first round, my 4 that will be remaining will be Philadelphia, Brooklyn, Milwaukee, and the New York Knicks. I am sure. Bam. What a series it will be. New York will be swept by Philadelphia, and Brooklyn and Milwaukee will go 6 games. I'll talk to you more on that as the playoff progresses. Over in the West, oh my God. Whoa! You can't be sure about anything unless you're I am sure over in the West. So I am sure is sure about all things Western. Yeah. So Utah Jazz lost the first game against Memphis Grizzlies. Memphis Grizzlies defeated San Antonio Golden State to make their way into the playoff as the 8th seed. And they are up against Utah Jazz. They won the first game, but I think that's the only game they're going to win. And in 5 games, Memphis will be going back to Memphis. Bam! They are out. Yeah, I'm going with the Jazz. It would be I can't see the Jazz playing so well only to be knocked out at the first round by a team that finished like 9th in the regular season, almost had a losing record. Come on, man. That cannot be right. That cannot be right. So I'm going with Utah Jazz. The 2-7 matchup is like I am caught between a rock and a hard place. Because really, I want the Lakers to come out of the West because I believe they pose the most threat to the Brooklyn Nets. Alright? But having watched the first 2 games, if Chris Paul can get back to full health, the Lakers not beating Phoenix. I want them to win, the Lakers. I want the Lakers to win. But I think Phoenix, with their superb backcourt and 3-point shooting, will defeat the Lakers if Chris Paul is healthy. Thing is that Chris Paul has a shoulder injury to his right shoulder. I think his right shoulder is what is injured. And it has hampered him in the second game, and in the first game it affected him. And they have to use Cameron Payne to be playing the point. And that is serious issues right there. So if he gets some rest and comes back in game 3 healthy and good, that shoulder working, yeah, I think they will come through. Though I want the Lakers to go through. The 3-6, now this is probably the surprise to almost every person in the NBA right now. The LA Clippers are being kicked, box, thumb, punch all over by the Dallas Mavericks. Yeah, Donage, Kristaps Porzingis, Hardaway Jr. Just messing up. The players are I don't know. The Clippers team is not a good team. I don't know why people thought they would have done well. They don't have a true center. And Paul George, if Paul George and Kawhi Leonard plays the 3 and the 4 or the 3 and the 2, Patrick Beverly is not a good point guard. He's very good defensive. Richardson is not. So they don't have anything going on in the backcourt. And they don't have anything. So it's just, I don't know. I don't know, and they are going to be swept, unfortunately, by the Dallas Mavericks, who are up 2 in this series. The series between Portland and Denver is very interestingly poised at 1-1. Portland won the first game, Denver won the second game, started out in Denver, so now they go to Portland. But I think over time, the Joker will not be able to play this power forward, point center thing that he's doing. And Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum is going to get Portland over the edge. So I'm going with Portland. And so coming out of the West, I am sure Sport is saying Utah Jazz, LA Lakers, if Chris Paul is not healthy. If he's healthy, I'm going with the Suns. And don't tell me that I can't do that. I need to be sure. You can't tell me that. Do you get it? No joke. No joke, right? And I'm going with Portland, and I'm going with the Dallas Mavericks. We'll see how things progress. All right, let me give you some track and field news. Couple of major events took place over the last week. Shelly and Fraser Price went on the circuit. She ran in Gateshead in England, and she went up against Dean Asher Smith, Shakari Richardson out of the United States, Talu, I think from Ivory Coast, and Okembaro from Nigeria. Shelly finished 4th in that. It was a very rainy day, to be honest. Very, very rainy day. And I kind of figured that even if the conditions were ideal, Shelly was using this to kind of observe, like a reconnaissance mission she was on, to test out and check out her opponents. I think that has always been her strategy, because she's very, very strategic in how she operates her season. Elaine Thompson pulled out because she had some injury. Natasha Morris was also in the race to finish down the field. I think she finished in 7th place as well. Never had a good outing, which is one of the issues with Natasha Morris. She has very inconsistent form. But Richardson didn't look good. But people will say, well, but Shelly never looked good either. But this has always been Shelly's modus operandi. All right. Yeah. But I'm still picking Shelly and Elaine to medal in the 100 meters at the Olympics. I am picking them, barring false start or any sort of injuries. And we're going to have a show dedicated to Jamaica medal hopes and prospects at the Olympics. Coming up soon, we have someone very special who is going to be on the show with us, and we don't want to reveal that until we have total confirmation about his attendance. But you know, one of Jamaica's track and field guru, and you're going to want to hear that, all right? So, but we also had Broadbell, the 110 hurdler who ran at the Olympic meet, the Olympic development meet here in Jamaica, and he did a very good time, the second fastest time in the 110 hurdles this year, 13.10. That means he's above Omar McLeod. Only the world champion out of the United States is ahead of him, and I think this guy is going to do well. We had Tajay Gale, who also did well in the long jump, though he finished second in his competition. Ricketts, the triple jumper, she finished first. Good outing for her. Yeah, and Kimberly Williams was also in that, and I think she finished 4th place. So it is possible that Jamaica could get a medal in the female triple jump at the Olympics. And in the 110 hurdles, could it be possible that we walk away with 2 medals, a gold and something else, or a silver and a bronze? There is a possibility, given the caliber athletes that we have now in that. We also saw Sachin Dennis, the boys champs 100-meter champion, Issa champs 100-meter champions from St. Elizabeth Technical. He ran against the seniors and he did a personal best in the 100 meters. Not sure if that time is good enough to get him a spot on the Olympic team in the 100, but if he keeps lowering his time, he could make a relay team. I think he would be good if he can get that time down to somewhere close to 10 flat. Maybe he could be on that relay team running a first leg, because he has a brilliant start. Wouldn't that be good to have an 18-year-old taking part in his first Olympics? In fact, I think he should leave high school now and go pro and further develop his career right now. That's just my thought. I think we keep our athletes in high school for too long, and it kind of hinders the progress of their growth and development. Do like a Brianna Williams, I think the same thing has affected Christopher Taylor, Dajor Bennett, and Tyreek Wilson. These guys stayed in school for too long. And so, yeah, let's see. But that is what is happening on the track and field circuit. So there's a next big meet this Saturday at National Stadium for athletes aiming to meet the qualifying standards for the Olympics. Looking out for the national trials, because that's going to be very, 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 very interesting. Yeah, man. All right. So you'd have also heard that the Reggae Boys, yeah, the Reggae Boys, they have a couple of friendlies coming up. They played Japan, they played Serbia, and they played the Japan under 23 teams, which is not an official FIFA friendly date, but they're over there and they will play in the 3 games. And so a squad of 30 players has been selected. Blair, Tuggart, and we have a goalkeeper who is also new to the team, but Blair Tuggart is a new player, outfield player, who will be joining, who will be a part of this squad. Look, a very reasonable squad given those players who are available. Would have loved to have seen Leon Bailey and Mikel Antonio and a couple of the names that have been mentioned. I won't call those names, because until a man dons the black, green and gold, I don't know that he's interested. So a lot of people say this person is interested, that person is interested, and they want to play for Jamaica. Listen, until I see them in the colours, I don't know about that. Because even the man who is playing in the Premier League, who says he's interested in playing for Jamaica, even if the GFF calls him and says blah 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 blah, you know what blah blah mean? You don't know. Say, here's your passport. Come on, we're ready for you. If that happens today and England calls him tomorrow, he's going to play for England. Right? So until they wear the Jamaican colours, I have nothing to say. That's it concerning them. And then when we have the squad of people, then we can talk. But I mean, from the squad that has been selected, I would go with Andre Blake, who I think is one of the top goalkeepers in the world. So he will keep in the first game for me. I think we have some challenges in terms of who would select because some of the players, I know Lowe, who is one for the last couple of years. He has been one of the better defenders for the national team, but he has been playing over in Egypt and his team isn't doing so well. And just from some of the reports that you have read, it seemed like his play has not been well, though he's playing some football. All right, so if it is based on present form, like I said, that Lowe has been one of the better defenders. I think he's one of the better young defenders that we have had in the last probably 2 years. But based on form, I think I would play Ethan Pinnock on the left side of defense and Liam Moore on the right side of the centre pair. I would do that for the first game because these are the guys who played in that position in the last game that we had. All right, I would play Kevon Lawrence, who has now moved from Belgium back to Toronto FC, and he played for Toronto. So I'd play him at left back because, again, he has been one of our better left backs. And Amari, who is in the squad, played in the last game, didn't give what I think was an outstanding performance. All right, now we have problems at right back because there's a Wes Harding who didn't get enough time in the last game that we played at last friendly against the US. We have Mariappa, who played there but was protected by the midfielders, and we have Alvas Powell, who has been called back into the team but apparently is not playing any football. So of those three, I would just because it's friendly, I think because Whitmore needs familiarity in his team, I think he's going to go with Mariappa, but I would go with Wes Harding. That's what I'll do. All right. Now, so he plays two holding midfielders. That's a formation he normally uses, which is two persons sitting at the base of the midfield. All right. In this squad, you'd think like he's going to probably use a Michael Hector and I'm going to say this, right? I think he's going to use Devon Williams over Kevon Lambert. I think he prefers Devon Williams because he has a little bit more pace. He's very busy. He can join in the attack and he can come back. All right. I think that's what he will go with. I would go with, I would have gone with Kevon Lambert because I've been watching him in the USL and he has been playing well enough, though people say it's a poor league, but you have to play the man based on form. All right, who are the three up front? Well, you know, I'm going to go with Bobby Reed on the right. I'm going to go with Ravel Morris in that number 10 slot. And then on the left, I'm going to give the new call-up, Blair Tuggart, a shot. And then up front, I will have to start Adrian Gray, just coming out of the last game. You have Nicholson on the bench that can come on and then you can interchange for the next game. But that would be the starting 11 based on the squad that we have over there. Let me know what your thoughts are, right? I also want you to know as well that the Premier League resumes, or it restarts the 26th. Teams are preparing, and man, I don't know how exciting this season is going to be, because people will be distracted by Euro 2020 and the Gold Cup and the pre-season of the Premier League, and I just feel like the whole timing of it, part of the issue is as well that though the Premier League has been given the okay to start, if schoolboy football is also given the okay to start, there's going to be conflict, because during that time schools are in camp play and all. So I don't know how the dynamics look. I think it would have been better if they had like what they call a pre-tournament, like a pre-season tournament, and zone the teams and say, okay, listen, we're gonna play we're gonna put you in 3 groups of 4, and one weekend you guys come and you just play a tournament, one weekend you come, that's part of your pre-season, and just restart the league at the beginning of September. I don't know, maybe there's a FIFA stipulated reason as to why it has to be started in June. Maybe it is the amount of money that has been pumped into the league, but I don't know if we're going to get the best out of the players based on the format that I've seen. But listen, I'm a supporter of football, and I'll give it my 100% support. I still believe that because of the setup at Mount Pleasant, they are going to be a force to be reckoned with. I've heard about some of their signings coming out of the Caribbean, and they are going to be formidable in this league. They are out in the central area. They have a good structural setup. They have a good coaching staff and management and a professional setting there. And so I think they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in terms of qualifying. I know that some of the teams as well, they have not been given the okay to start training on their grounds. Their grounds have not been passed. And so how does that affect their preparation? Because remember, you can't just open facilities for teams to train, because they don't have people coming to watch, because some of these players have no secure fencing. So there are certain other things that needs to be worked out, and I think the government needs to get into this. I'm going to do a series about looking at football across the parishes because of the pandemic and the impact. Let you know about fields that have become overgrown, to see what can be done to fix some of these issues, because sports is going to, sports is like rebuilding. Like COVID has knocked down all the systems and structures that have been in place, and it's like we are rebuilding from the ground up, and there's a lot of work to get back sports, especially football and cricket, to where they once were in the hearts of the people. They were already failing, and so certainly there's a lot of work to do, I am sure. And so we don't have people on our platform discussing these things. Just stay tuned and listen up. Remember to like and to subscribe. Hit the notification bell, very important, because we want you to hear a lot of these live videos that we're doing, and we're able to ask questions of the stakeholders in the sports that we're discussing. Again, we really appreciate it. Look in the description if you want a special discount to get a haircut at Pro Star Barber Salon upstairs. Yeah, they are upstairs where? Simmons Plaza in Orchard, right? Just let them know that you heard about them, and I am sure. Baba Sports. Bless up. Big up Harry Times TV. Listen, I'm so glad that you took the time from your busy schedule to watch. Remember, like, share, and make a comment. Right? Follow us on all our social media platforms. I am sure, no doubt. Big up. Always do what is right, no matter the cost, no matter the circumstances. Live right and choose to do what is right. Every time, all the time. I am sure.